Welcome everyone to the Valkast presented by Acquire. I am your host, Matt, aka Big and Tall Matt. Joining me today is my co-host, Mr. Tyler Spariko, and the founder and current CEO of Valkyrie, Mr. Zach Genesis. Mr. Zach, how you doing today, bud?
I'm doing good. How about you, Matt?
Yo, we doing good. We living life out here. Tyler, how is you
I'm
doing?
straight gaming.
You straight gaming? What we gaming? What we gaming?
Grind that Destiny, bro.
Oh,
Straight grind all day.
shit. Just straight, that's it, just Destiny. He gets like 2 hours of sleep, bro.
Actually, 3. I got 5 last night.
And he just plays Destiny for the rest of the day. The rest of the 21 hours. Sleep for 3
19-hour days every day.
Dude, yeah, I can relate. Like, that's how my first day on, like, Destiny 1 went.
Mhm.
Like,
Oh.
so when Destiny 1
about
came
that.
out, when Destiny 1 came out in my area, they, at the GameStop, they did, like, the 10 p.m. release or whatever, to where you could go
Oh
pick it up.
yeah, the midnight
And-
release.
Yeah, the midnight release.
Yeah.
And I went to GameStop and I went over to a bud's house that got it as well, and sat there, downloaded it pretty quick, and then we grinded through that in one day.
Got the
And then
main
I
story
played
done
that-
and everything.
Got the main story done, got most of everything done, and we just kind of went around and messed around for a few hours.
I mean,
But,
for
like,
the Destiny 1 release, that's all you could do is do the story, because I don't think the raid came out for
Yeah.
another 2 weeks or something like that. So once you had done the
Yeah.
campaign, that was it.
yeah, Raid didn't come out for a while, but like one thing that we were really focused on was like getting our power level up, or the light level, or whatever
Yeah.
at the time it was.
Yeah.
So it was like we ended up just like grinding out planets, and kind of the same thing I did with Destiny 2, like exploring the planets as they kind of came up,
Yeah.
and just going around those all the time. And that was the nice thing about D1. It was so easy to do that, like just to sit on like one planet for hours
Mm-hmm.
and do like what the public events and
And
stuff.
patrols and
So-
stuff, yeah.
Yeah, the patrols and public events were honestly probably the best part about that game, in my opinion.
It was great.
No, the Destiny 2 though, I like how I don't think they had the adventures in Destiny 1. I
No.
believe they added them in Destiny 2. I think that they're like mini strikes in my opinion. They're actually, some of them are fun, but some of them are just stupidly long for no freaking reason.
Yeah,
Especially
time.
the bounties in Dreaming City. You literally have to go into the city or the castle, whatever it is, every time, and it's like 5 minutes just to kill one guy, and then you gotta leave.
yeah.
It can get annoying.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But with all that being said, Zach, let's go ahead and get right on into it. So, Mr. Zach, let's go ahead and talk about your inspiration for esports. So, what esport team, anytime, any era, has inspired you the most when creating Valkyrie, or anything that you do esport-wise, and why?
So anything I do esport wise, I would have to say like the OG Optic Gaming.
Oh yeah.
Like that's I know it's very cliche, but like honestly, I it's the way that they created the content.
Mhm.
They went around finding the competitive teams, and just kind of how the entire setup was done
Mhm.
was really the main thing for me. You know, I would also have to say complexity is another one.
Oh, I'm
Mhm.
huge complexity fan.
Like Jason Lake, he's just one dude, and especially one thing I would like really enjoyed was Hector's podcast,
Yep.
Eavesdrop,
Mhm.
with Jason, and just sitting there listening to that thing and just going through that entire history. Really showed off a lot of like early days esports, and like kind of how all these sort of things came to be, even though there were mistakes. But
Yeah.
like doing like those two main guys were the main reason that I got into this side of esports in general.
Mhm.
Otherwise, big Call of Duty fan. That's where I started off competitively. So it was like sitting there being like, "Yo, dude, I'm gonna be the next Nade. Let's fucking get it."
The next day shot, yes, sir. I feel like for me, that's where a lot of people started off. Like, because everybody didn't really have computers growing up. Majority, everybody was on console. Everybody played Call of Duty when they were younger. So it's like, I think for like my side, Optic, yeah. But for me, it was Team Caliber. That was probably my biggest inspiration in like me getting into competitive esports. And then, I mean, like later down the line, obviously they fell off for a bit. I hopped on the Optic bandwagon, the Nade Shot Hex team, and going into that. And then, I mean, like now, it's like 100 Thieves, bro. What Nade is doing with that team, bro, it's 100
It's changing
Thieves.
how it works.
I know I think Optic did a good job like putting their foot in the door. This is how esports should be done. But I feel like 100 Thieves is saying this is how it needs to be done. And I think they're the perfect example of like a modern day esports team.
Definitely.
So, for me personally, like as much of a 100 Thieves fan as I am,
Mm-hmm.
it's like Team Liquid in my opinion, has to be the prime example of what like esports in the 21st century, especially in the era that we're entering now in 2020, going into like 2021, has to be. Like 100 Thieves and like Nade says this like constantly. Like they started off as an apparel company. That's where in apparel and content are where they're mainly focused.
Mm-hmm.
If you're looking at an esports team, like Team Liquid, the way that they just dominate everything, and they're like the Patriots of esports. Like, let's be honest.
No, I got you. They got Bill Belichick, is what you're saying.
Yeah, they got the Bill Belichick, they got the Robert Kraft, and they're just gonna keep winning, and
No,
that's what really kind of continues their dominance over esports in general.
That's actually an interesting way to look at it. You have the content teams and you have the esports teams. Liquid being obviously the best, one of the best esports teams out there, and then 100 Thieves probably being the best content team. I mean, outside of Call of Duty, what was it, Black Ops 4, they haven't had that much of a success in my opinion. Unless I'm totally just forgetting something. I mean, their league team's doing all right, but I don't even think they qualified. Right, I don't even think they qualified this year.
For North American standards.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, for North American standards, you're doing well, but it's like they're constantly like the tier B of like tier 1 team.
They're scratching the surface and they can't get quite through right now.
Yeah, and it's like that's what you get for what their CS team was an Australian team. Like it was who was it? Renegades? They took over the former Renegades roster, right?
I think so. Yeah.
That's a tough question.
So it's like taking their Renegades. Yeah, like taking the Renegades team, it's like that's how they want to get into CS. It's like, yeah, getting into CS is how you make it in esports right now, because it is like the first person shooter to get into. It's like it's CS and League, but like you could have looked at that team instead of just taking the entire team, taking one player and probably their coach, and kind of just had kind of the run of the mill of whoever free agents were at the time.
Build around that player.
Would have worked out a hell of a lot better, just because you knew at the time that Renegades was not the greatest team on the market.
They weren't performing as well as they should have.
Yeah, and honestly, I don't know why it kind of came into the thought process of, hey, it didn't work out over there. Why is it going to work here with the exact same group, pretty much? It just they could have had the run of the mill for players, pretty much, especially with how good their content is.
Yeah.
And now they're getting into Valorant now. They got Hiko and they announced somebody else I know the other day. But I'm interested to see how that is. I feel like once the Valorant scene starts taking off, I actually think that will be a scene that I think 100 Thieves will at least be consistently like a top 8 team. I don't think they're going to be the best, but then again, they haven't announced their entire roster. That's just me being like, oh, it's 100 Thieves. Of course, they're not going to do that great because it's not COD, But there's hope. There's hope.
Yeah, Mindo is signed under Liquid right now and has been playing Valorant. But I'm not sure if he's signed like as a competitive team or as like a streamer content creator on Valorant for Liquid.
I gotcha.
But he's been playing with like the Lick squad.
Okay.
Yeah, and that's the weird thing. It's like Valorant right now, it was so hyped up for competitive esports. And there's nothing there.
Nothing.
Especially if you're like an organization our size. Like if you're an organization our size or even a bigger, like a tier C team, right? If you're a tier C team, there's no competitive scene to where you can get a good market outreach and stuff like that. Even tier 1 or tier A, is non-existent because Riot straight up said from the get-go, hey, we want to grassroots develop this competitive scene. So that puts it on tier C. Well, tier C doesn't have the resources, right?
No.
So it's like, if you're going to put an entire competitive scene on how the smallest teams do, it's kind of doomed, in my opinion. Like, if they looked at how, like, the Call of Duty League and stuff like that right now, and what you said, that's something we'll talk about later, right?
Yeah, Call of Duty League will be later.
Yeah, Call of Duty will be a little bit later. But, like, kind of how that's being built and stuff. That's how they should have gone about it, in my opinion.
Getting like an actually established league going. I gotcha.
Yeah,
And I mean,
especially with the release
a game
imagine,
cannot
like,
strive. God.
Like, imagine the skins that you could have done
With
with
team
the teams.
skins. Yes,
Oh, yeah.
they would have been
Like,
nutty.
you see the ones coming from like Team Liquid, and you see the one that's spec'd for our
Yes,
stuff.
the omen overlay or
Yeah.
whatever you did. Yeah, that was
Yeah.
clean.
They're so clean, and there's so much you can do creatively with each character.
Mm-hmm.
There's so much opportunity to sell, especially team specific ones, and that would have done well. Not saying that they're not doing well based off of the store that they have now, but you can pretty much. It's a market where it's there no matter what, and that's something that they could have just kept riding off. Instead, they're just starting a slow evolution of this esport, and honestly, that's not what we expected it to be as fans. Especially coming from Riot.
I was just about to say that it's Riot, dude. Valorant should probably be a mainline esport right now, but for some reason it's not, and it's like, what the heck? It's wasted potential.
Well,
eventually, I feel like it'll get there, but right now it's obviously not there.
Yeah, it's gonna get there eventually, but you also have to look at the players coming into the scene too. Like, that's the weird thing. It's the players that couldn't get to that next echelon of competitive CS:GO and Overwatch.
Yeah,
pretty much that are the main players in there. So like, if you're watching Valorant kind of produce, you're seeing a bunch of former CS:GO players come in and say, "Hey, I wasn't working out there. Let's go work out here," just because they don't have the same level of competition as CS does.
Exactly.
So it's like, having that kind of development and stuff like that and that's kind of the downfall. I would have rather seen a Valorant be delayed a little bit, but come out with we're doing a pro league in 2021.
Yes.
We're already, here's a team that's coming on board for the league. Here's some of the players that are already free agents, and do kind of like a Riot or a League of Legends style league. They could have done that. Would have been perfect. But instead, they're like, dude,
just play the game, sure, it'll be fine.
Just play the game, it's fine.
But
it's gonna make a shitload of money off it now.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Charge $100 for a skin bundle.
Right.
Oh my god.
I mean, I spent the money.
You did.
Boston spent.
Yeah, Nate's spending hella money in a game he barely plays anymore. Oh my god.
Oh
yeah.
There's so much wasted potential.
Definitely.
But Tyler, if you'd like to go ahead and continue on.
Yeah, sorry.
I was just gonna say, it's all community hosted or like small organization hosted tournaments right now. It's the only way to get like your name into the scene. Like, from what I've seen and friends who I know who are competing in the scene, is like, in order to get to the next level like you could in any other game, there is no real pathway for you. So like, you're grinding for like a top rank, or like try to dominate as many community host tournaments as you can, just for like the small amount of clout you get and the small amount of like exposure you get from that, which it won't get you anywhere in the scene until they actually give you a way to get out there and like expose yourself to the community of people who aren't dedicated or like hardcore into the community watching for these players.
Yeah,
like the mainstream light.
Yeah, exactly. And that's kind of where they kind of just piggied off of Overwatch and CS:GO. And that's the part that kind of upset me the most, when they announced, hey, we're not doing any pro league and stuff like that yet. And it's like, dude, all right, these teams are based off of CS:GO and Overwatch, like high tier AMs, low tier pros, and you're just kind of trying to mesh those two communities instead of like growing your own. So like, sitting there watching it, I was just like, I love Valorant. Like, I think it has a ton of potential to grow into, and even though we just let go of our Valorant team, like, I still want to stay in it.
Yeah,
but it's also like, where's the scene, stuff like that. And
is it really worth it, kind of?
Exactly.
But yeah, Tyler, if you want to ask the next question.
Yeah, like, what esport personality or like which player in the scene inspired you the most, or like who have you looked up to growing up watching Call of Duty, or like just any esports in general? Who do you cater towards as like your inspiration?
So I'm gonna be straight up and honest with you.
You only can pick one. Only one. Because I think I know 4 that you're thinking of right now, and I only want you to pick one of them.
I guarantee you don't. Mainly because I didn't watch a ton of esports growing up.
Oh,
okay.
So like, where I live, it's esports even now is still seen as kind of one of those, like, it's just a fad sort of thing. It's not gonna turn into
Mhm.
like baseball. It's not football. It's not hockey. It's not basketball. And people still look at it that way even now, as like, esports were the only thing to go through Corona and stuff like that. So it was like I didn't get to watch a whole ton of them growing up. So it's like I pretty much just watched like Nade Shot on YouTube. So I
Mhm.
had some of the optic people, but like to be honest, I can't really put like a single this is who it is,
Mhm.
or even like a group of hey, this is who I watched growing up. So it wasn't a huge portion of like my like even younger teenage years. Like yeah, I competed, but like that was at like some locals and stuff like that, and with just a group of friends I played with on a
Mhm.
consistent basis. Um,
So you'd say it's like just more the scene in general you enjoyed, not like a specific person you followed growing up.
yeah.
Okay.
Alright.
All right.
Like, I know-
I was expecting like a Nate or a Hex, or not Nate, a Nate Shot or Hex answer out of you.
Yeah. So like
Typical COD player.
like going into it and like doing more in the scene, especially as I realized that like I can't turn into a professional COD player.
Mhm.
Like watching Nade, watching Hex, and that would say that's more who I kind of based my view set on the scene after.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But like that was after pretty much or towards the end of me playing competitively.
Gotcha. All right, then let's go ahead. It's like you kind of answered this. I guess my next question was going to be is what led you to the route of esports? Why are you like why are you pursuing esports, I guess?
So it's just kind of a passion for me.
Mhm.
Like kind of like I said, I played competitively, and it was just kind of I had a group of friends that we played like Call of Duty, like GBs, went to small lands in like the Chicagoland area, stuff like that, and we did that for a while. Seeing some of the people I met were really dope, and I just kind of wanted to keep going in the scene, just
Mhm.
because I met some
Yeah.
really dope people through it. So yeah, that's actually kind of it, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
That's
Oh, so you kind of answered it in the last question, but that's all good.
Yeah.
But let's go ahead and switch the reels. No, the wheels, not the reels. Into the next section, the Call of Duty League. This one, I have a feeling we're going to be able to talk about for a little bit.
Oh yeah.
So I already know the answer, but for the people that don't know, who is your main team for the Modern Warfare season?
Huntsman.
100%.
100%. And so that's only because so following Hector and stuff over,
Mhm.
if Hector and Scump were not involved in the Call of Duty scene going this year, let's say Scump retired after BO4, right?
Mhm.
I would be
Tragic.
kind of more up in the air. Yeah, tragically. I'd be more up in the air to like a Seattle or even like Gorillas maybe.
Gorillas?
Gorillas.
Why the
How is it
Gorillas?
Because so in my opinion, I think they went about things the way a new league should be formed. We're gonna sign some of the top young talent in the scene,
I gotcha.
and then they should have gone after like one top tier pro, and just be
Respect
like,
that.
imagine like a Decimate, Aqua, Vivid, and like a Clayster from the beginning, and then like add one more per player.
That's what
and then-
Clayster does. Clayster would make those kids work and they'd be winning because
Exactly.
that's what he does.
Exactly.
He makes talent.
He makes so much talent, and even if it was like Crim or Octane or like stuff like that,
Mhm.
if it was some of those top tier AMs that have played with younger players in the past and they would have gone there, that team would have been a hell of a lot more successful. They would have done a lot more, and they would have been a top 6 team this year.
Yeah.
And
Well-
that's and I have to kind of go back to like when the league was forming, like.
Mhm.
I think just the idea of somebody coming in new, picking up these young guns, that would have been the way to go. Honestly, just because I couldn't root for FaZe.
Why is that, Zach?
I just am not a FaZe person. Like they pick up so many people under the sun, and it kind of goes into I think something that we're going to be talking about later. But like teams that pick up anybody and anybody whatsoever that is starting to grow. There's no exclusivity to that. So like you're picking up so many people, and there's so many different ways of content. There's, in my opinion, it's so hard to focus on one brand identity within the entire team because there's so much going on. And
Okay.
granted, I'm not gonna take away the success that they've had and shit like that, but like it's just not my kind of team.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I could see that.
So now that we're going into Cold War, we're going into 4v4. You still gonna be rooting for Huntsman now?
Dude, they just picked up Brucey.
Dude, the Huntsman's gonna be nutty.
It's gonna be bad, bro.
Dashies.
Scump, Formal, Envoy, and Dashy.
It's gonna be bad.
Formal and Scump are gonna retire at the same time. We know that. And that's
We all,
probably
yeah.
the decision. But like with Envoy and Dashy being the two main guys on that team after those two go, that is getting nutty to go into next year.
Yeah.
I'm
Setting up
surprised.
for success.
Yeah, like that's gonna be so good, man. I can't wait to watch those guys play. Like,
Cold War is gonna be. There's gonna be a lot better teams too now because every team's losing a pro.
yeah, every team's losing a pro, and the roster sizes are gonna be like closed down, and that's the cool thing. It's gonna be so competitive, and so many teams are gonna be subbing in players now. I think because like some of these rosters are gonna have like you could see Enable be a sub.
Yeah,
That would
Stuff's
suck.
changing.
That would suck. But like you could have a player like Enable or like a Methods even though he's still on a starting roster. You could see those guys still be main subs for teams and be subbed out for a hard point or for a control and stuff like that.
That's what I'm hoping will happen.
I'm hoping we see more sub use this year. That'd be
Yeah, playing to their strong points and catering each match towards what game mode.
Yeah.
So
that kind of transitions into next. It's like, how do you feel about going from 5v5 to 4v4?
So honestly, I'm a fan of it. It's more watchable for 4v4. 5v5 I think was a good move for like Black Ops 4, and if they would have kept that same kind of continuity with, and I'm gonna keep saying this to the day I die, COD should be a multi-year cycle. It should not be a year's over and it's a whole new game. It really should be, and that's where you get more like growth out of a scene, and that's why it's still considered a tier 2 esport, is because it's a whole new game every year. You can't, the only like main thing that people look at are, it's still the same old pros that are playing, and it still has the main brand Call of Duty, but look at Black Ops 4 and Modern Warfare and how different they were. We went from having a kind of exciting game in Black Ops 4 to, bro, this is so hard to watch.
Modern Warfare is a bit weird.
Yeah, it's just no consistency.
There's no consistency. Those maps are fucking huge for Call of Duty, man.
And, like, the only map I think I actually liked was like
Gunrunner, and that's why so many people played at the beginning. I'm a fan of that's
Cave?
Petrograd.
Which one's Petrograd? I forgot. Oh, St. Petrograd, the Russian map. Yeah, all right. That one's all right too.
Azure Cave, I think, was underutilized because there's so many different ways that you could hold hills, but also take hills at the same time. Like, I just think that people got lazy when it came to planning out strats and shit for that map, where they're like, "Yo, dude, this map's too complicated. Let's get this thing out of here."
All I gotta say is Piccadilly was slept on for S&D. That's all I gotta say.
Piccadilly.
Piccadilly. S&D was one of my favorite actually. I hate it for anything else.
Yeah, it's so bad for hardpoint and shit like that. But yeah, no, for S&D, dude, so worth it.
Slaps.
So going into the 4v4 scene, have you been following the leaks that have been going on for the teams? I know I've posted them. So all 13 teams have pretty much a set roster except for like the Ravens and Legion right now, and the Subliners and Mutineers because they're fighting over Pharaoh. But pretty much, and Optic doesn't know who their fourth's going to be yet. But every team is pretty much set in stone right now per the leaks, as we see with the Huntsman, Dashy going there. That was already confirmed. FaZe is going to be picking up Arcides, and Priesta going to Roker.
Yeah.
The Rocker.
So honestly, the teams that are going to be making the biggest jump this year would probably be Minnesota. Like that team,
I 100%
being
agree.
Priesta, Attach, Major Mania, Accuracy.
That team
would be nasty. especially if it's a 3-sub 1 AR meta, to where you can, even if it's a 3-sub flex meta, like all those guys can slay out with a good range SMG, and they can just control it all.
I want to talk to you about Seattle real quick, though. Do you think Octane is going to be getting the help that he needs with Pristini, Looney, and Gunless?
No.
Who's the lacking then? I think Pristini. I think he'll be fine in the end, but that's just me. Who do you think's the lacking one?
I am not a fan of Pristini or Looney on that team. Like, if you throw, hell, honestly, I'm surprised that Seattle's not looking at Pharaoh. Like, I think he would fit in.
I'm surprised all of these teams aren't looking at Pharaoh. Pharaoh is one of the most underrated players in the league right now, in my opinion.
Yeah, he's one of the most underrated teams in the league, or players in the league. Honestly, I think it's hard for him to find a spot. That's why I don't like him in the CDL, because so many teams are going to want him, but at the end of the day, like, you're going to see teams just giving up left and right, and he's going to be a sub, or he's going to be like, these teams are going to go after players that are kind of like Pred, Zed, Dens, I think, that are all projected to go to Paris. Like, that's one player to where there could be so many teams looking at him, but it's also like the pro level teams have so many players to kind of look at. It's difficult.
All right. I got 2 more questions about 4v4 and the teams. Optic. Holly, or TJ Holly, Kenny, Slasher. Who's their 4th? They say Draza will be a sub. Do you bring somebody up from the AM scene? Or do you try and snag a pro that's not there? Who's the AR in that team? Slasher, right?
Yeah.
Bring in my boy Chino. That's all I got to say.
So bringing Chino back, I think, would be good. Mainly because he probably only had a 1-year contract anyway, and he just wanted to see what his options were. But what about Havoc?
I actually didn't think of Havoc, actually. He's not solidified on it. He's not solidified on the Mutineers. That's true.
Yeah. Like, Havoc going to Optic to team with TJ, Kenny, and Slasher, I think would be a good move for this year. But like, then again, we also don't want
don't hurt my Mutineers.
Like, these players have more experience with it. So like, we can't really say, yo, this is how it's going to work, because like, no team or nobody outside the pros and those that have played the game so far know how it's going to work.
Yeah.
So, kind of like what I said, I'm going to base my projections off a 3-sub 1 AR meta and throw Havoc onto that team.
The thing about it going to 4v4, so far, every one of these teams looks like they could win, except for the Ravens of Legion, and that's because they don't have a solidified team yet. The Gorillas look all right with Vivid, Apathy, Silly. I always say Apathy wrong. Vivid, Apathy, Silly, and Assault. I'm going to keep saying it because I really don't care. But that team even looks solid. Ultra with Clean Expanse, Cammy, and Methods. That's going to be a good team. I think that'll be a top 6 team.
So I feel like Gorillas is still going to be held behind. Like, yeah, it's a good team, but every team's getting better this year.
Exactly. Go on.
If it's stuck to 5, or if it's stuck to 5v5, or even like they added like 2 expansion teams in to widen out that player base a little bit. If that was still a team, that team would go up. But I still feel like even with that team, the rest of the league is too good.
That's what this going to 4v4 is going to be insane year for Call of Duty.
Dude, I can't wait to watch the Challenger Series.
Oh my god,
that's gonna be nuts.
Let me check something real quick.
Clayster, has he been confirmed on any team, or what's
Clayster, none of this is confirmed, by the way, except for the Huntsman roster. These are all speculations, but he is supposed to be on the New York Subliners with Mac and Zuma.
All right.
Which that team's gonna be pretty good too. If they can get Pharaoh, that'd be nice. But I'm praying they don't, because my Florida's gonna need him.
Dude,
but there was one more thing I did want to go ahead and ask. Where do you see the man, the myth, the legend, Doug Heckin Sensor Martin going? Where is he going, Zach? This is the most important question of the podcast. Where do you put Mr. Sensor at?
Sensor man, dude, he's gonna be an academy captain for like
Damn it.
Gorillas or something.
I was hoping you'd say like the trash can or a bench or something. No, but I could definitely. He's going to be an academy team, 100%. I agree to that.
Yeah, he's gonna be an academy team captain. I think just his name alone is why
It's a brand.
teams are gonna pick him
It's
up.
a brand.
It's a brand.
Yeah.
And like he showed last year, even though Modern Warfare was a trash game,
Yeah.
like
He's passionate.
He's passionate. He still wants to play, but he doesn't have it anymore to be on a starting roster, or even I think even as a main sub for a bench. Like you don't see him. Honestly, I think feel like Insight and Draza are both better than him.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Then I actually want to ask one more. I lied before Tyler goes ahead and asks the next question. Parasite. Do you see him being the AM King, or do you see him going in the pro?
Still AM King.
AM King. Thought so.
Even then, I feel like with how the scene's gonna be built, and as somebody that knows a little bit more, especially because we've done our research on teams a little bit, I feel like this is gonna be the most competitive challengers.
100%. It's ever been.
So some of these AM teams are being built without Parasite on it. I still feel like could compete for those top spots, which is why you're gonna see teams like Triumph, Triumph, Carnage, Team War. Team War is gonna. If I'm thinking right, they're still gonna be based EU.
Yeah, same as I believe Singularity is as well. Yeah.
EU Renegades and what's his face? I don't even know Oceanic League anymore, to be honest.
I don't know. I only know EU and NA. I don't know anybody else, honestly.
Yeah, so honestly, I feel like if we get the team that we want and the team I'm talking to right now,
we're going to be a top AM.
We'll be a top AM team. But it's still like Triumph and Carnage are the top two pretty much. Intel.
Valkyrie Intel, by the way.
Yeah, if you're not watching me on Twitter, I'm offended at this point because I keep dropping yo, dude, we're gonna be back in COD this year. We know that. So fucking hit my lineup, guys.
For real.
Because you see what our teams are doing. All we do is fucking win lately.
Yep. Oh yeah.
So it's everything. I'm disappointed, man. I've only had a few teams hit me up that are that could be top AM teams, but even then it's still you don't have the marketability for it.
Yeah.
That's why you're going to be creating your own Westar thing this year.
Okay.
Which was
let's pause for a moment. You have the full CDL control, right? Mm-hmm. What would you change about the CDL? How would you go about it differently, or what do you want to see happen?
So are we taking out team expansions this year?
Everything. You're allowed. You are the CEO of the CDL right now. What are you gonna do?
You own everyone.
So I make two moves. All right. First move, expansion to 16 teams. Invite Singularity, Complexity, Team War, and 100 Thieves in. All right.
What I mean, you're still missing United too. There's still a bunch of teams that won in that COD scene.
Fuck them.
Hey.
No.
Go on.
I feel like the Team War and the Team Singularity would be the two storyline teams to add.
100%. Yep.
100 Thieves would just be the no brain. Dude, you're picking name shot into the league now. It's the no brainer. And Complexity, I feel like they could add a little bit more class to some of the teams, and be another kind of bedrock to the scene NV and NRG are right now. Which expanding the 16 teams, that would be needed.
Yeah.
Along with that move, every team requiring having some sort of academy team on it.
I'd like that a lot. And the sub is allowed to build a team around him for the Challengers League, or even I'd even you have the 3-tier system. You have tier 1, which is the regular pro play. Then you have the academy scene, and then you have the AM scene. I'd kind of like that too. I don't know, maybe meshing the academies into the AM scene too. I think there'd be too many scenes to follow probably, but
yeah,
that would be interesting to see 16 academy teams going at it.
That would be good for another tier, kind of going the same way that League does it. you
Yeah,
know, they have
definitely.
their academy teams and stuff like that. I feel like that would bring us to another level. That would be us like low tier A tier scene to
Mm-hmm.
high B as a competitive esport. Um, but I honestly feel like they just need to have some sort of representation in the challenger scene,
Mm-hmm.
and
I got you.
that's the main reason I go with that, because like that opens up so much opportunity for some new players, new teams,
Mm-hmm.
and that gives you direct competition between some of the new kids up and coming and those kids that are already known.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Yeah.
you have like players like Onyx, Pentagram, and some of those guys, and you know that they're gonna be good every year, pretty much no matter what. Um, but sorry, there was a spider.
he's coming to get you. He's coming to get you.
Dude, if you're sitting there and you'll go back in the VOD and you'll watch this, you'll see a white dot, like
Oh, no way.
right down right there. Yeah, dude.
Oh my God.
I'll show you after it's
We're gonna
done.
have to back up and go look at that after this.
But I feel like the direct competitive between the two needs to happen. So like you saw with Triumph this year, like Triumph being the NY or the New York Academy team was
Mhm.
really good for them, and it was really good for the players under that brand. And Rocker being able to give their subs a place to compete in the challenger scene and be able to work with a team like Rebel was really good. So like, and that would be very good for teams like Paris, Gorillas, and London to have that sort of turnaround on that roster already, in my opinion. Now it's just me, but I feel like that'd be a good
So
thing.
you said two. The first thing you said, if I recall, was expanding to 16 teams. What would be the second
Yep.
thing you said you would do?
No, that would be the second thing would be the academy team.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
gotcha. Two separate things. Would you
Yeah.
force? So if you were CEO, would you force all the teams, all 16, to have an academy team?
Yes.
I agree to that as well.
I like
Because
big mainstream orgs having academy teams or amateur teams because it allows them to breed content and breed what they want for their like personal org to
Mhm.
go into like their main roster in the future once like a current person retires or if they drop them or switch them out. Like
Yeah.
they can get what they want.
Yeah,
imagine.
that would be...
Go ahead.
Sorry, you can go.
I was gonna say, imagine Clay getting to the end of his career, going down to the academy scene, and Crowder's the coach. Dude,
Crowder wouldn't do that.
you know, I will obviously not, but imagine.
Yeah.
They would be breeding these kids. But
Right.
let's go ahead. Next segment now. We're gonna be talking about Valkyrie now, your little baby you got there. So we're gonna go ahead and talk about how did it form?
So it started off as like a group of friends I used to play with. Actually, we used to compete a little bit together and stuff like that. And they already wanted to form their own team, right? And they kind of got together. They were like, "Yo, this is the baby. This is what we're gonna do."
Okay.
And they were like, "Yo, you want to jump on board with this?" I was like, "Sure." Like, why not?
Yeah.
I was really bored being out of the scene. I had made a couple friends doing just content with, but even then, like doing all the content myself, and I was never good at my own brand sort of thing.
Hmm.
But like working on something that had a little bit more passion and vision behind it for other people was always something I always liked doing a little bit more. So they asked me to jump on board. It was 5 or 6 of us at the time, and just kind of slowly, they all kind of were like, "Yo, this is way too much," because it is a lot more work than what some people think it is. Like, especially if you're trying to grow it like steadily, there's a lot more that goes behind it. So like, they quickly realized, like, this started off June of 2018, pretty much, and it was actually May of 2018 when they asked, and it was like June that we actually started the team and launched it. But they pretty much were like, "Yo, you're gonna be pretty much the only person interacting with most of the teams, most of the content creators and stuff like that. You'd be like the quote unquote GM that owns like 20%." And from there, they were just like, "Dude, I don't have time to look into teams, look into content creators and stuff like that." And I was like, "Dude, you just wanted to do this. You can't give up after 2 weeks." And 3 of them gave up after 2 weeks. So
It's a lot of work.
it is a lot more than what people get actually put it think it is. So by the time I think August rolled around, yeah, I think by the time August rolled around of 2018, I was the only one left. So they were like, "Yo, this is you. This is yours. You do with it what you want." I hated the name because I didn't come up with it, but
Did you say what the name was yet?
no, I haven't.
Oh God.
I really don't want to.
I think we have
You
to
had,
hear
you had to do it for the history.
All right, so it was called Raptex, RAPTEX.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Go on,
was
go on,
bad.
go on.
It was bad, but I was outvoted on it, so I was like, "Yo, I'll just roll with it." And by the time that they all kind of left for that solid 3 months, I was just like, dude, focused on. I had school at the time, I had work, I was still trying to do this stuff like that, and so rebranding and stuff like that just wasn't the time to do it. So when November rolled around, I was finally like, yo, this has got to change. It can't be that anymore. And that's when we went to the Valkyrie branding and stuff like that.
Yep.
I straight up posted in the Discord, be like, yo, I want to rebrand this. This is happening no matter what, because I can't handle this anymore. But what do you guys think? And I think we went through 150 or something, so different options for the name.
Oh wow.
Oh my.
And I opened that up for everybody. It wasn't just staff, because one of the things that I really wanted is people feel like they want to have the accountability. They want to feel like they were a part of it and stuff like that. So giving them some input and stuff like that and on the name was a major thing for me. So when we were kind of going through, the name and stuff was going over so much, and yeah, and then we kind of were in just a call and went over the options, and we're like, yo, Valkyrie's it. And so many options and stuff were going over. It was a long process. And then I think we had 5 or 6 different options for the logo at the time, and that's when we kind of transitioned into the helmet with the wings and stuff at the time.
Yeah.
And I'll throw that up in post-production, but but that's when we changed the logo over to that. And kept doing Call of Duty shit like that for a while, and then kind of stopped COD for a good portion of time, and did Rainbow and CS, and started exploring other scenes.
Rainbow's real clean.
Yeah. And then now we got the new rebrand, courtesy of all our minds put together, and mainly Mitch's, but that's where it is at today. Obviously, obviously Boston's been here for the majority of the ride, but ever since I've been here, it's. I thought I knew esports coming into this team. I really thought I did, but just the amount of input that I've gotten from Zach and Boston or Zach and Nate already is I feel like I could go be $1 million somewhere else, honestly. I'm kidding. No, but just the amount of just resources and everything that I've learned here is just, I feel like I've definitely probably about tripled my knowledge of esports since being on this team, and it's been huge. All right, if you hear the dog, I'm sorry. She wants attention, but I can't let her out right now because the cats are out, so she might be whimpering in the back a little bit. I'll apologize for that.
Oh, dude, it's a puppy.
Leia, come here. I know. She got spaded today too. So
I gotta. That you were close to choosing before you settled on Valkyrie, or was it pretty much dead set? We like this name. We're going with this name.
So,
what?
Can't even remember.
we kind of, when we were talking, the idea of doing a helmet was always the cool idea.
Okay.
So doing a Spartans, or I can't remember some of the other ones, to be honest with you. It was
I gotcha.
So long ago, but only being a year and a half down.
I would say isn't Team War based off of the Spartan helmet? Yeah. If I recall, I was gonna say that's already
Team War's based off the Spartan helmet.
Okay.
And when Valkyrie came up, it was just we felt especially going into it, there's there's not very many teams called Valkyrie.
No.
Like we were kind of looking around, and we were like, dude, there's 2 teams that are okay, that kind of had that name, and we were just like, dude, let's just roll with it.
Yeah, claim that shit.
Yeah.
And I mean, I feel like you guys have definitely established your identity now, or we have at least. Well, you mainly, but
with bringing you and Spec on board, like I felt confident in my knowledge of like esports outside of Call of Duty and like content and stuff, but like between Mitch knowing his like brand ability and like what marketing skills and stuff he has already, that was huge for us, and that was the main reason. Like, when Nate and I talked, we were sitting there, dude, these guys would be huge for us to just expand into the next phase of what we're doing and get there sooner than what we were already planning. Because like when we picked you guys up, that was like April or March.
I'm not too, bro. I've been in probably almost 6 months now. 6, actually, I think it's longer than that.
This year,
it's gotta be about it. Yeah, it was like close to the beginning of Corona, if I remember right. And then Mitch came in June. But like when we picked you up, it was like, this dude's gonna know a good amount about content. He's gonna know what we're looking for and stuff like that. And we picked him up specifically as somebody to focus on the community outreach and stuff, which obviously didn't work because he was.
Oh, I hated it, bro. It was by far the worst position I've ever been in esports, bro. I thought I could do it. I could have took head of esports. I could have. I'm happy I didn't, because I don't think I'd be here right now like this. That community, I was a Discord mod. That's essentially what I was. I was like, who wants to watch a movie? Hey, let's go. Hey, guys, we got a team playing. Come watch, And the only people that showed up were fucking Tyler and Dorfus. Hey, man. Right. Spam this tree to help Valkyrie. Or I keep saying green wall, yellow wall. But, I mean, I'm happy. I'm happy that you and Nate, it didn't really take that much convincing, and I'm happy it didn't. I don't know if it was just that you guys were like, yeah, sure, whatever, Matt, bring him on as a GM now instead of a Discord mod or whatever. But I definitely feel like me moving up and then me bringing on Mitch, because the whole thing with the Illuminate fell through, unfortunately. Because that was his baby, bro. That must have been hard to put down, bro. It would probably be the equivalent, putting down an animal. But because he not like. That he was because I was on that team for like a year or 2, year and a half to 2 years, and I helped that team for a while. He was already working on that team when I joined, and it's weird 2 years later not seeing it anymore. It really is for me, because that it was a big part of my life, honestly. Growing up and getting into esports was that team. But I mean, I'm happy that we're both working together again. I consider him one of my best friends, and just the me, you, Nate, and Mitch. I try not to call him Spec. I'm trying to get out of that. That's why. I keep pausing like that. But the 4 of us, I feel like together with obviously the help from like Azrael and Jerry, Alpha, everybody on the crew, I feel like Valkyrie, give us like another year, bro. We're gonna be the next like on top team in the AM scene, kind of like how Singularity is right now in Team War. Up there in there, like Singularity dominates pretty much every scene because I follow them, except for like Rocket League. They're like a top 8 team in Rocket League, but they're always consistently top 4 in anything that they do. So I'm excited. I really am.
Yeah, with the amount of brain power that we have on the team right now, I feel like this is the stage to where, and we're already seeing it right now, to where we're seeing so much growth and so much evolution in all of our competitive teams and content, and this is where I thought we'd be in a year. Like if it was still just me and Nate working on it with we brought on Ty, which was a good addition to help us get planned for like events and stuff, and get help get some social media stuff out of the way and stuff like that. But with Corona, that shit got put on hold. So that we can't do right now. But like when we brought Jerry on board for helping out with, because actually Jerry was in your position before you were. For the community outreach, because what we really wanted to focus on at the time was expanding the community and making it more more of a community with our content creators and stuff. And like we had the ideas behind it. It's even now we don't have the ability to actually do it just because where we sit in the scene right now. But like he was in that position, then he transitioned over to the content creator role. And one thing that we really focused on is, even when transitioning you into the GM role, it was, vibes are good. We know that we get this person in the right spot, they'll succeed. And that's kind of where, no matter what, that's where our mentality kind of comes in, because it's I came from the part of, dude, give anybody the shot, they're gonna make it. And especially on the staff and doing this side of esports, anybody can do it.
Yeah.
But if you have the drive, the motivation, and shit like that to actually put in the work, that's a different story. We've gone through, I don't know how many different staff members. It was an okay amount before we brought you on board, but from there, it was a still slow growth sort of thing until we picked you, Jerry, Ty, Spec, Alpha,
Azrael.
Azrael. Yeah,
there's just there's a lot of us now. It's like I forgot about Ty, and I mean there's a lot. It's hard to keep track of everybody now, but it's just this team that we got going on right now, bro. A little push is all we need until I think we skyrocket, and I'm excited for when that moment does come. We're grinding, we're out here just
no sleep.
We're pretty much, yeah. We're all out here working jobs, going to colleges. Everybody got their life in order. They're all doing whatever they can, and then they're all using their free time to support Valkyrie, which is something I had in other teams that I've been a part of, but it's here.
You have a powerhouse going right now. Just
really
every
do.
single member there putting in work, putting in effort, and just cranking out the best thing they can.
Yeah.
That's kind of where I brought up the exclusivity thing before, So I'm gonna use our Rainbow team as the main example, because that's been our longest tenured team so far.
Yeah,
we love.
But we picked up, we love those guys, man. Fucking JJ, X24 rated this team. Sirius as our sub, yeah. Eric. Who recently joined on a couple of weeks ago. Stuff like that. It's been a grind and stuff like that, but they've been with us for 10, 11 months now.
I would say it's almost been a year since Rated and JJ have been with us.
Yeah. It's been so long, but there were so many teams that we could have gone after. But and especially because at the time, that team was not the top team that they are now. But we were talking with a bunch of teams that were good stature at the time, and when we were having those conversations, it's dude, right? These kids want to work at it. They want to continue to grind. They push through the problems instead of typical COD kid.
Yeah.
Break up a team after a bad scrim.
Yeah.
They put in the work, and they were yo, this isn't our first time teaming. We're still going through some of the stuff. I was all right, that's exactly what we wanted to hear. And that's kind of the same sort of stuff that we do with every competitive team that we could bring on board.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't have its failures? Yes.
Yeah, every team does.
Every team is going to have its failures and stuff like that. And especially if you're trying to go with we've been trying to work it for so long, stuff like that. It's the problem of you run into the issues. This team's not working out. We pick them up because they've been working at it for a while, and they have reputable names, but it's just not working. And you'll have more problems with that than picking up some teams that are brand spanking new and already have the names and stuff like that, and you know them big time.
Yeah,
compared to teams like JJ and Rated. Those two guys, man, they put in so much work over the last year.
It's insane.
And a half-ish. It's insane.
The dedication from that kid, bro.
Yeah.
He's 16 or 17 now, right?
16.
He's 16. 2 more years till he can go pro.
Yeah. I know.
Give this kid time.
Yeah. And that's kind of the main thing. It's, we were looking at kids or at teams that, could go pro soon. But we know at this point, especially, X24, JJ, Esteem are all going to be pro league when they all turn 18.
Definitely.
Especially if this team together now continues just to run this T3 scene, they will be the team for at least tier 2 going into tier 1 when JJ and them turn 18.
So kind of talking about the Siege team, right? What do you think would be some of Valkyrie's biggest accomplishments you've had up to this date? I'm sure some of them come from your Siege team, obviously, but What accomplishments?
We did champs 2 times.
So with the Siege team, we're 2-time champs. We've placed top 16 at a COD LAN back in Black Ops 4.
Yeah.
To be honest with you, most of like the accomplishments and stuff like that come from our content side.
Mhm.
Like our CS:GO team that we had on before this current team, them being they placed top 6 in ESEA main going into advanced before they broke up, and that was the big one too. But like it was mainly just what we do for our content creators and stuff like that is probably the biggest thing for me personally. Like yes, we're an esports team, but like content is king. Let's be honest.
Definitely. No, our content team is
top notch.
We keep on adding all these streamers, all content creators, bro. We got a family going on of talented people, and that's what I really like.
Like so, I'm gonna give 2 people main shoutouts here, mainly because they've grown a lot under the brand. Like I love Narc, I love Ray, I love Losta. She's great. Every interaction I've had with her has been great. Sherbs is one of the best people I know personally. Actually, I'm gonna shout out 3 people here. But because going through the list again, I was like, oh shit, yeah. Like I forgot So first person, Hollywood. Kevin freaking Jolly, man.
He's grown a lot since I've been here.
Yeah, and he's been here with us since the beginning.
Oh wow!
Like he's been with us since June of 2018. And the way that he went about content then, like we made sure we pushed him to affiliate and stuff like that. But the way that he's looked at content, and we picked him up when he was streaming off an Xbox 3. I think it was an Xbox One.
Oh wow!
Was it an Xbox One? It was either an Xbox One or Xbox 360. He was streaming off that, sitting on the floor.
Oh my god!
Like you go back in some of those VODs and stuff, man. Like we're sitting there, dude. This kid is freaking dope, even though he's older than me. But dude, this dude, so funny, great overall person. Like when I met him at Dallas Fort Worth for the COD event, because he lives in the Houston area. He came up to just visit some family and stuff, and also hang out with us for a little bit. Like having that interaction with him, and putting so much time and work in with him has just been insane. I love that dude. Hope he never leaves. But no, what he's done with his community and stuff like that's just been insane. And then Fadeless, that kid's just freaking cracked out of his goddamn mind.
Dude.
Like, so good, dude. I'm still waiting for him to take those shots of freaking A1 sauce, man. But,
oh my god.
Yeah, but he's insane. Like, Fadeless is, in my opinion, like the future for content creators and like the model pretty much. Because like the way he's grown his community, he was mainly Call of Duty and that's what we picked him up as. But like branching out into other party style games like Fall Guys, he was big on for a while. Hell, he played Roblox with freaking 15-year-olds for a while.
No, it was a lot less than 15-year-olds.
Yeah, a lot less than 15-year-olds.
They were young. Those kids were like, young he was playing with, but they were having a good time. It's all that mattered.
They're vibing, having a good time, and the way that he's just grown his community has been insane. It's been great to watch. And it's been great to be a part of just in general. Like the way that I've always said Valkyrie is it's, we're a small platform to help our content creators and our members grow, right?
Yeah.
So like for Fade, just insane. Fucking love that kid. And then the last one, franchised. So when we picked her up, right? We had our Valkyrie Academy program going at the time, and that was just like working with small streamers and stuff like that were brand new, getting used to it, trying to help them get the resources and stuff like that done. Nate will be able to go on this a little bit more, but like you saw from the get-go, like dude, she was gonna pop off soon. She was gonna be huge, and she's continued that growth and stuff like that. And especially as a mainly CS streamer, that's a hard scene to grow in, right?
Oh yeah, 100%.
So when we saw her. We were like, dude, once she hits affiliate, like she's on the team. Because that was our baseline at the time, was like affiliate, you know, you'd be averaging like 10 viewers at the time, stuff like that. And once she hit affiliate, we were like, dude, that's something we need to lock up like immediately, because she's gonna be somebody that other teams can be looking at probably pretty soon after if she's not on a team already. Because she's hella talented, and everybody on our content team are. Kind of plug, if you don't follow the Valkyrie content Twitter already, do.
Find out where everybody goes live.
You get to see where everybody goes live, and everybody on the team's just freaking insane. Like, I can't say enough about the amount of content and the amount of time that they all put into their own channels and stuff, and how every time we have a meeting and stuff, it all kind of blends together. So I can't wait to continue working with all these people that we have.
So a lot of positive. We have a lot of positive. Now we're going to get down to some negative. So every decision you've made with Valkyrie and bringing it up to what it is today, what is your biggest regret?
Not backing out of Call of Duty before Modern Warfare.
Why was that, though? Elaborate, please. Because I think I know why, but
Call of Duty is and will continue to be for a while the hype esport, right? Like, if you're thinking hype esports, you're thinking, dude, you see some of the casting, the shout casting you get in Call of Duty over some of the other stuff. It's insanely high production. The amount of movement and just overall stuff in that scene is just incredible. But like, that also elevates what the players ask for. And that's kind of the downside, is part of that community. It's, you're a top am, cool. No, you don't deserve a salary, because because you can win $10,000 at a LAN.
Oh, you won once. Congratulations. Now you want a salary? Oh, God.
Exactly. And you see some of these top AMs are like, yo, dude, I want $1,000 a month because I can place top 8 at a major and stuff like that, and I'll give you 10%. I'm like, dude, that doesn't help a team out at all unless you're willing to participate in content,
or you're winning every tournament,
literally everything. And even then, most of the time, your team's gonna come out even if they're not willing to help you participate in like content and stuff like that. Yeah. So like, if they're not helping you out on that side of things, it's not worth it. And you see so many kids in the Call of Duty scene that are like, yo, it's just, I don't want to do that just because, that's going to take an extra 20 minutes out of my day sometimes. I've been told that. Like, so I'm going to give an interaction I had with a COD player this was with my Dallas-Fort Worth team. And it was another player that was there, because we knew after we lost our winners bracket match that we were going to be dropping one player. We knew that from the get-go, because he was costing the entire time. He just didn't have the vibes. He wanted to go do something else. And I was talking with one dude, and I was like, yo, this is kind of what we're going to be doing. And he was like, I don't want to do that, just because he didn't want to do like content and stuff with the team once a week. That would be half an hour a week. And I was like, you're on a shit team now. Like, if you remember some of the teams that were playing, even placing top 64 back then, you're on a shit team sometimes. Yeah. And like, yo, this team's better. You even admitted it. But you're going to say no just because you don't want to spend half an hour a week on this stuff. So, like, it's just not worth it sometimes. Yeah. And I kind of saw that going into Modern Warfare, because people are like, yo, dude, it's franchise, it's Challengers League, there's going to be a good AM scene and stuff like that. I was like, dude, the AM scene's shit. Because they're not doing casted matches from the beginning. They're not putting the resources in. And when you got to Minnesota, you were like, that shit was confirmed. Like that scene, like, seeing, and they improved it over the weekend and stuff like that. But like, when that initial time at Minnesota came out that they were playing a parking garage across the street from the venue, I was like, dude, it's chalked, man. Like, it can't be that way if you're going to be putting a ton of resources in. Yeah. And that's why, as you saw the year continue, even through Corona, you saw a dip in orgs taking top teams.
COD's a risky business now.
COD is such a risky business, and I think now with pros, it's gonna kind of put people in check. A little bit,
Hopefully.
And I want to be able to pick up a team before like the game releases. But like, if I'm even sitting there going into event number 1 without a team, I'd be like, dude, just wait for these kids to get railed like no fucking tomorrow by Wuskins playing in a challenger team
For some reason.
even though he really shouldn't be, but he's gonna be one of those people. Like Wuskins beating a team like that, and they'll be like, dude, he was a pro last year. And I'd be like, yeah, no fucking shit. You have to face up against freaking 24 of those this year.
Yeah, honestly, and you had a bunch of experts too down there.
Yeah, it's like you're not gonna place those same top placings.
Mm-hmm.
Let's get put them in check, especially after that first event.
It's changing everything.
Yeah, it's gonna be huge, and then it's gonna kind of shift back over when they go to 16 teams in 2022.
Yeah,
hopefully.
So you mentioned your biggest regret bringing up Valkyrie, right? Like, what is one thing you would change right now about Valkyrie if you could, or like, what do you want to change?
Bye, Matt.
Wait, what? You said buy Matt? I thought you said buy him out. Like, what do you mean buy him out? Oh no, buy Matt. Oh, I mean, fuck. I guess. Hey, man.
Say hello to your new general manager.
I'm gonna hit start streaming again real quick. I'm gonna mess that up again.
No. The biggest thing I'd change right now.
Is there even anything you want to change, or you feel pretty confident right now with how things going?
So I feel confident with how things are going right now. The only things I would really change would have to continue to be member driven, which I really can't speak to just because that's not something I could physically change right now.
Yeah, I feel that.
I could get like some more of our team members like interacting on social media a little bit more, being a little bit more like willing to be part of content, and like the continued growth of the organization side of things and our ability to help them out. I feel like that would be the number one thing, right?
Okay.
Would just be try getting everybody a little bit more motivated for the team wise.
Definitely,
okay,
yeah.
so
like I do have to also shout out then Fade, because that dude's fucking goated when it comes to the team and wanting to help everybody. Tatiana, she's freaking awesome.
Oh, love her, great.
She's awesome. The way that she just motivated to help the team out and want to interact with the community. Angel, she's constantly in our chats and stuff.
She always talking.
She's always talking. She's great. I love having her on board.
Just straight passion.
Yeah, it's just the passion that some of these people that have come on board have been with the team. They get what we're trying to build, and they're like, dude, this is fucking awesome. Like, let's do it.
Yeah.
And I just wish that we could kind of get that a little bit more,
Yeah.
But that's
so. Let's keep the topic of streamers going real quick. So I mean,
talk about how bad of a streamer you are.
I mean, hey, listen, I'm already late for stream. I'm about 3 hours late. I said 9. This podcast still probably about another 30 minutes left. I'm calling it.
2 weeks left.
We're almost done, but let's go ahead and do this. I do a lot of looking at content creators. Me, you, and Nate do a majority of the looking at content creators right now. But I want to ask you personally, when you're looking at content creators, what characteristics do you look for in a content creator?
So first thing I look at is, and this is probably the easiest thing, is while you're scrolling through Twitch, is the overlays and how your stream set up.
Cleanliness.
Right?
Cleanliness.
If it's clean, it's good. Or if it's too chaotic, it has to be a condensed chaos.
Mm-hmm.
So like you see some streamers that bunch everything up in one spot.
Mm-hmm.
So like I'm gonna use like my screen example. You see like their webcam, you see their their recently subbed, recently followed, donations, all this sort of stuff on one side. You see that just in this like bottom corner. That's okay. Or if you have it spread out like on a bottom bar and you have the webcam over here with like one thing on it, that's good. But like if it's all over the place and it's just not condensed at all, that's such a bad thing. And then the second thing has to be how you interact with your chat.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Like, I think I read it was like, or listened to it at least the other day or a while back. It's like, somebody's going to decide if they want to watch you within like 5 seconds. I give them
literally
me.
Yep.
Yeah. I give people a minute, and I literally, if I click on your stream, I sit there, look at your overlay. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna give this person a chance. I put on a timer for 1 minute, and I sit there. All right, just watch.
Mm-hmm.
And if they're good and they're interacting and they're doing a good job, then I'm like, all right, bet I can sit and chill with this person. Then I start interacting with them in chat a little bit.
Yeah.
I'm just being like, yo, how's it going, man? Give them a follow, see how they kind of those alerts and stuff like that pop up if they haven't already gotten that already, and stuff like that. But like, number one thing has to be cleanliness, and the number two thing, and it's more like a 1B, is like how you interact with new people in stream or even your current community. Because like if you're just sitting there, like, and this is the main problem I have with like Tarkov, is like you have so many people that rarely interact with your community and like kind of put down your chat a little bit. Because like if you're sitting there playing a game and you're pretty much upright telling people, like, being like, yo, dude, I'm gonna be focused on this quite a bit. And you see that with like players playing competitive and content at the same time, which is why I'm done doing that. But like you'll see people post up, be like, yo, playing a tournament, I'm not gonna be active in chat today. If you're straight up saying that, you're an automatic no for me. But yeah, it has to be, yo, the vibes have to be good. That's why, you know, Ray, prime example. Like that dude, loud, funny. Like, look at Ray and Narc and Fade, and everybody on our list has a good reason why they're on this team.
They're on the team, yep.
Watch them a little bit, and you'll be like, yo, okay, that's somebody that's constantly growing. And they are constantly growing. Like, they have the numbers to prove it. So, like, if you're looking to get into content creation, it's a how do you interact with your stream? How do you interact with your community and stuff like that? And if you don't, you're not going to make it.
Yeah.
Simple as that.
Yeah. But it's me when I'm extremely picky when I look at content creators, and it's a lot of times where it's like I'll be like in bed, and I don't really look at their stats when it comes to it, because like schedule wise, that's a big thing for me. I'll literally just throw it in our chat, be like, I watched this person for like 5 minutes. I have no idea like how many followers or anything they have. Just give them a look, and I've done that a handful of times. Unfortunately, when we reach out to them, we don't get anything. That's another pet peeve of mine.
Okay, number three. If you have a fucking business email,
please check it and reply, for the love of God.
Even if it's like, I would rather get a hell no, I'm not interested in joining.
Fuck you guys, I'm going home.
I'd rather get that than nothing at all.
Oh my God, that shit is so annoying when it's reaching out to content creators. But I mean, they have the right not to check it, but then again, they have a right to check it because you know it's there. But
yeah, it's there. Really? And that's like the big thing. So it was like, so another story. Then it's like, dude, I had one content creator I reached out to. This was in January, actually. Reached out in January, and I don't remember if I told you this.
I think I know who it is.
No, you don't know.
Hold on.
I mean, like I didn't tell their name. But like they replied in June. We're like, hey man, how's it going? Sorry, I'm getting to this late. I'm like, dude, you're 6 months late.
Bruh. I thought you were gonna talk about the guy who came back, who did reply to us. He came back like all snappy and stuff. He's like, I don't think you know what my stream is or whatever. That guy.
Oh, that guy?
Yeah, that was annoying. I'm like, we were just asking you a question.
Yeah, it's annoying when I get replies back like dude, you like how did you find me? And they keep digging into that a little bit more. It's like I straight up, and I do this. I have to reply with this question so many times, so I hope some people actually watch this shit. But like, I straight up scroll through my Twitch recommended list on each game I like watching, and even games I don't, because I'm like, yo, these people be popping and having fun. I go through that list and just click on random people.
That's how I found you, through my recommended.
That's it.
I didn't do any extensive research. I literally saw you in my recommended. I watched you for a bit and said, hey, this guy or gal is pretty freaking cool, guy. You know? Yeah. Let's go ahead and give him a look. Let's shoot him an email, shoot him a DM. Let's say, hey, we really like your stuff.
Right?
Come join the fam.
I don't even look up, like, you'll see this on Twitter so much. Like, yo, content creator, I'm looking for an org to join. I'm like, dude, I don't even look at that shit anymore.
No, because those are usually the guys that don't know exactly what they're doing anymore.
Exactly. They don't know what they're doing, and they go to teams that don't know what they're doing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't know how many teams that don't know what they're doing when it comes to competitive teams or coming to for doing content creators. Like, I saw this one. I'm gonna nail off a couple because I just hate them. There was this one called it was called Knights GG, and it's not like Pittsburgh Knights. It was actually just called their name was Knights GG.
Yeah.
And they referred to themselves as Knights GG all the time. Like Knights, Imperium, a couple other small ones, just across the scene. Like, they just tweet out, be like, yo, I'm looking for streamers, I'm looking for managers, all that sort of shit. I'm like, dude, at this point, if you look at some of these bigger orgs and stuff, they're not doing that. If they're growing,
they're doing their research.
They
That's
come
the
to you
thing.
and they do your research.
Exactly.
If you're a content creator and you're tweeting out looking for org, that's a big red flag in my opinion, because you don't know what it takes at that point. You're thinking org's gonna help me out and help me grow, and no, the goal is for them to help you a little bit, but it still has to be yourself driven to grow as a content creator.
Mm-hmm.
It's not that hard as long as you know, if you interact with chat, just keep up a semi consistent schedule, and you have good vibes in chat. That's it.
Yeah,
it's not that hard.
Yeah.
But let's go ahead and transition to this next part, Tyler, because I actually I'm intrigued in this question.
Definitely. Like, kind of piggybacking off of the amazing content creators we have, right? Would you ever consider a content house or a team house composed of Valkyrie members, either management, content, or just anyone involved in the family?
Management, yes. Content creators, maybe.
Mm.
So the big thing for me is, if you're part of the staff, Matt will attest to this. You know the vibes that are part of the team, right?
I guess.
Like at this point, Nate and I have talked every day with each other, at least saying, hey, yo, good night or some shit like that, every single day for the last year and few months.
Yeah.
Like,
good night, homie. Kisses you on the forehead. That's what I can think of. No, I got you though.
Yeah, it's the little.
He's checking in. He's checking in. Yeah.
And even then, it's most of the time we'll be chatting about something else throughout the day. But we've talked so much for the last year and plus. We're practically brothers at this point anyway. But staff, yes, because the vibes, what's going on, having everybody together for those sorts of things would be a big thing. That would be good to do. Content creators, I feel like, no, mainly because the people that we pick up, they're a little bit more solo, and
besides Ray and Sherbs, because they're like BFFs.
Yeah. But even then, it's if you have people that live close together, cool, you can do content every once in a while. But egos of some content creators will really get in the way of that, and definitely. You don't want to have to deal with those issues if you're all living together.
Yeah, the drama.
The drama and shit like that. That could not be worth it.
So now, would you throw, let's use this because obviously they've been with us for a while. Would you throw the whole Siege team into a house? With the Gooch. The Gooch.
The Gooch.
Are
you talking Gooch as an Azrael or Jolts?
Jolts. Jolts is the Gooch.
Well, Azrael's also considered the Gooch in COD, so it's like when people refer to Gooch, I automatically go to Jordan.
Oh, I didn't know that. I didn't know that with him.
No, yeah, he's got that big brain that people recognize.
Oh yeah, he's talented for sure.
Yeah, I would guess.
I
would throw that team in one house. I feel like, dude, the shit that would come out of that would be great.
The content that we could do I feel like with just Eric alone, we could just troll the entire house for his freaking dog barking, bro. We have our own security system, bro. It's just fucking Eric barking. Or what whatever barking he did. Or whatever. I don't fucking know. I'm not going to. Yeah, that's what it was.
Much, dude. Yeah, God. That kid, man. Throwing that entire team into a house would be great, because I feel like his team would he'd play, he'd do video editing and stuff like that, like you do. But imagine JJ, X24, and Eric,
just the content's there. Oh my God.
Oof. And then Jolts would be the babysitter.
All right, guys, we have scrims tomorrow morning. Make sure we're all up. Okay.
Okay.
He goes to it's Jolts asleep. Yeah, they all just start screaming at each other again. Oh God, I love our Siege team, but let's
between them and our CS:GO team is just it's so much fun.
the CS:GO. I love this new CS team we have. I mean, I love the old one too, but this new one, they got vibes. They got vibes for days. But let's go ahead, keep it on esports real quick. What titles are you wanting to expand to?
So going into Cold War, I want to do COD again.
COD team, obviously.
Try it one more time before we make try it one more time and see if it's our takeoff team.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. And League of Legends.
Oh, I could get behind League.
See, I'm waiting for Overwatch 2 and Halo 5 to come out, or Infinite, whatever they're calling it, not 5.
Yeah, it's Halo Infinite. Overwatch, it would be we've been big for a little while now. Now let's get a team together, shit like that.
Yeah.
Because that T3 scene.
It's now we got lucky, me and Mitch, when we were part of Illuminate with the Docerino and Spoons team we had. I loved those kids, Mac and all. I'm trying to remember the names one by one as they come, but it's that scene was a lot of fun. I don't know if Mitch liked it all that much, but I was in every one of their games, cheering them on, talking to everybody. Like we were at the point where it's like me going into a Rainbow Six match. We recognize names now. But in the Overwatch scene, everybody talked to each other for the most part. I mean, obviously there's weirdos and stuff. That's in every scene. We know how the R6 scene is with the trolls and stuff. But I'm a little upset when we left this scene just because, the team drifted apart. They wanted to go do their own things, and a few of them are still playing. But I love Overwatch. Overwatch is a fun game. I think it's extremely underrated. And I feel like it was probably the first actual, I feel like Overwatch is the first actual esport. Established esports league.
Definitely. Push me.
Well, I meant with the city-based stuff. My bad.
Oh yeah.
They're like kind of like Call of Duty's doing right now. That's what I meant. My bad.
Call of Duty's doing right what Overwatch couldn't.
I think they both have their positives and negatives, but that's just me. Raise your synapse. I don't care. Go away.
Overwatch is kind of like the first game to push more into mainstream media. All the esports scene, if you like gaming, you know of esports usually. But all the people who don't like gaming or just aren't into the scene, I've heard of Overwatch because of how much they're pushing the normie to say audience and just actual TV broadcast mainstream audience and just all the types of people. It's a just game.
The production value of Overwatch is one of the best production I've seen in any esports, by the way.
Yeah.
I love how they do it. It feels like I'm watching a football game, the way that they have it set up. Not obviously not watching football, but the production, I mean.
Yeah, Overwatch is one esport, and especially here in North America. I feel like here in North America, it's the most developed esport.
Yeah.
Call of Duty, people here in North America know Call of Duty. They know Rocket League shit because they're into those mainstream games. But everybody knows Overwatch, and it's been around as an esport for pretty much the entire time it's been around.
Yeah.
But the way that they've put the work into developing it as a scene right away was a little bit ahead of its time for here in North America. You're looking at League, you're looking at Asia pretty much. Let's be
definitely.
Yeah.
League,
freaking South Korea, and they're just destroying everybody.
And full on governments over there
are supporting it.
Supporting it, and you still see it here in North America. So where even our government's yo, dude, what the fuck's going on? I don't know what the shit what the fuck we're supposed to do.
Just pay attention.
Yeah.
But let's go ahead. This is the last thing for Valkyrie. Well, for now, we're going to go back to it, but. This is the last thing for Valkyrie before we go into the next section. What does it mean to be in Valkyrie, Mr. Sack Genesis?
I'm very biased. But I feel like some of the people that come on board will say this, have come on board already, will say this, you feel like it's a part of an actual family, and you feel like it's a little bit more exclusive than some of these other teams in the scene, because they look at just how we look at bringing people on board. I feel like it's the main thing. We constantly hear this from people that have left, and I still talk to a good amount, being yo, dude, you guys had that certain vibe about you, like the team and how we all interact with everybody. I feel like it's just something that you don't see very often on some of these tier C teams. Like I know like Carnage is close, Team War is close, Singularity is still technically a tier C team, but like only reason we don't have that same notoriety is just because we haven't been on that giant stage.
Yeah.
Like some of those teams have been at majors and stuff. But like we also have a more developed content team than them, so I'm just gonna take that over that. But no, like just the way that we kind of present ourselves to our team members, I feel like it's the main thing.
I definitely feel like we do a lot better of a job. I mean, obviously we fall through in some places, but I feel like content and even with our like actual teams, I feel like we do a really, really good job of making sure that everybody's feeling involved in one way or another. But when it comes to that, and this isn't like just Valkyrie, this is any org, I think creators and teams need to realize, like, if you had a team like, say, us, and we're reaching out to you like, hey, let's do game night, hey, let's just chat, hey, what's going on? And you don't put in that effort, you're really, I want to say you're hurting yourself more than you're going to be hurting that content team. Because that content team, or even that team, is going to want to work with you. And if you're not taking like their hand or kind of thing, hey, let's help each other kind of thing, I think you're ruining a lot of creators and teams will ruin their chances at expanding within that team and meeting new people and stuff like that. I think that's a really big thing that young content creators need to look at, especially when they're trying to branch out.
Yeah, that's a big thing, and that's one thing that we fall short in every once in a while. Like we do a good job when everybody comes together, but getting everybody into that initial let's do this.
That family aspect. Once they get in, I feel like they can stay for a while.
Yeah,
I think that's what we do the best.
Ray, Narc, Sherbs have all been with us for like 10 months. Hollywood, like I said,
since the beginning,
like the literal beginning. Like he was one of the first 10 people I've ever picked up.
Yeah.
Yeah, like all those people. Like once you're in, and actually in, like you in your mindset, you're like, yo, I want to be a part of this. Then you're actually in. You're here long term. And it doesn't take us very much to get there. Like to be honest, it's you just have to be able to put forth that first effort.
Yeah.
But like. I'm pointing out this one person, and I hate that they're not part of Valkyrie anymore.
I know. Our girl Shiro, baby.
I love Shiro.
Because that was actually one of the first creators when I first joined Valkyrie that I showed to Tyler was Shiro. Because I said, hey, I rated her or whatever, and I said, Tyler, you should actually watch her because I think you'll actually like her. Like, don't just watch because you're my homie or anything. Like, go watch her.
Yep.
I still follow her to this day. She's still fun to watch.
Like Overwatch streamers, I actually sat down and enjoyed watching for gameplay and personality.
Yeah.
Like she had the whole package other than all these pros who just had gameplay or these weird people who would they have a good personality but they suck at the game.
Yeah.
Like it was just no bad moments in her stream.
And we told her this, it's like within the year, you're gonna be one of the top Overwatch streamers.
Oh yeah.
She kind of already is right now, yeah. She's close.
She's been streaming for 9 months now.
Let me see she's.
I think she is streaming. She's usually.
I would say yeah.
But like, she is one of the top Overwatch streamers.
126 viewers right now.
Yeah, and you see her getting over that quite often. Let's be honest, like she's.
Oh yeah, I've seen her at 300 plus a few times now.
Yeah,
and it helps because she's developing friendships with all of these pro players too.
Yeah, even. When we picked her up when she was at like 20 something, and then she was only here for a month and a half, I think. But like even then, like she bought into what we were trying to do, and she was like, "Dude, you guys, this team has a ton of potential." She just quickly outgrew that and got that offer from Oxygen Supremacy. So it's like we know that we can't compete with a team like that, especially when. It's such an easy path joining that team and getting partnered like that quick.
She's number 18 on Overwatch right now. It's pretty good. I've
seen her get up to number 2.
Oh, we've seen her at number 2. Yep, I remember when that happened.
Yeah, she's one of those people that quickly bought in and was like, "Yo, this is it. I'm here. Let's go." And yeah,
I think that's probably one of the biggest L's we've taken is her leaving.
Oh,
That's one of
that's
them.
the biggest.
I really wish we would have fought for her a little bit more, but she went to Supremacy. It's a good team. She wasn't there for that long, unfortunately, but she definitely got something out of Supremacy. She definitely did, and that was a good move on her part.
Like Nate talked to her and was like, "Hey, yo," because everybody that tries leaving, we try doing like the X interview with.
Yeah.
And like when we like Oxygen Supremacy was on that list of like, "Yo, dude, we can't even contest that."
Yes.
Like, let's be honest, that team helps out so many of their content creators grow. So like, when she was like, "Yo, it's Oxygen Supremacy," we were like,
bye.
Yeah, you have to take that opportunity.
Well, we can't even try and contest it. Yeah, just have fun. Thanks for the memories. Good luck.
Pretty much. That's pretty much how it goes.
All right, so let's go ahead and transition into the second to last segment. Your passions outside the scene. Tyler's gonna go ahead and kick us off with this one.
Yeah, so like talked about all the esports and Valkyrie that you've been a part of, but like, what are you personally working on outside of esports or just the gaming scene?
So Matt knows this pretty much takes up a lot of my life, but I'm also a college student. I'm in my senior year right now. Unfortunately, I'm gonna have to go for another semester, but past that, I'm a college student getting my degree. I'm also pretty much a big passionate sports fan in general. Rugby is a big one. I like playing with friends and stuff. Like down in Milwaukee, there's usually a tournament every year because Corona that couldn't happen, but we go down to those quite often and do that. Football is another big one.
Yeah.
I don't know. I love contact sports.
Oh yeah.
I'm upset, Tyler.
I know.
What you know what I'm talking about?
What
exactly?
No, he doesn't. He doesn't know what I'm saying. I was gonna have a small section in here about NFL, and I said, you know what? I was gonna say, oh, you're gonna say soccer?
Yeah.
Okay, that too. But we're both huge soccer fanatics. But I was gonna have a section in here for NFL, and I'm like, you know what? When we ask him this first question, I know he's gonna bring up Green Bay, but you brought up freaking rugby that I didn't even know that you were into. The second person I know that actually likes rugby. It was my sister's boyfriend. Really likes rugby as well. Fortunately, he can't play. He got in a car accident, so his leg's gonna be. He can't do it anymore, which blows.
Yeah.
But
Absolute.
dude, I was waiting for the Green Bay Packers. I'm like, God, that saved me like 30 minutes or whatever context. I knew we would have been talking probably about fantasy football and NFL for quite a bit.
I can't talk about that yet because Nate and I are playing right now, so I can't talk shit about fantasy football until that's
You're
done.
telling me, bro? I was telling Azriel he was gonna lose first round in the Valkyrie one we're doing. I get blown out, bro. My team took a nap.
You got your ass kicked.
I don't even know what happened. Oh my god, bro. First week of fan, and then I got the actual league that me and Ashley do with her family. We put $10 in for. I had to auto draft because I was trying to take my state licensing test for my insurance license. Unfortunately, I failed, but can't take a test worth shit. Anyways, it was auto drafted, so I'm stuck with this shitty ass team, and they drafted me Carson Wentz as my quarterback. That is why I lost, is because it was Carson Wentz. So I will be dropping him and probably either getting Minshew or Bridgewater, because I'd rather gamble with them than Carson Wentz.
Oh, in that league, yeah, that's true. No, I'm sitting here like I'm only up by 5 points right now. So Juju can't catch 5 passes or.
Oh, you'll be fine. Juju's gonna go off. It's opening week. He always does well.
Dude, Juju's on Nate's team.
Oh, you're fucked. I'm gonna keep it hundo with you, Chief. Nah, you got this, Jack. I was thinking Juju and Zach. But
he was so fucking close.
Dude, I got blown out.
Dude, doing Clyde Edwards-Helaire and Josh Jacobs right away was the best thing.
Best thing ever. All right, let's go ahead. So next one is we're it's your hobbies now. It's not so much as your passion. I mean, games can be considered this, but what games are you currently playing?
Destiny 2.
Gotta rep Destiny, bro.
It's a lot of fun out of nowhere.
Since I got into that again, God, I fucking played.
I hate you guys because you guys got me back into it. Then I got Tyler back into it. Now Tyler won't stop playing it. It's destroyed his life.
I have always played Madden.
God,
like
so
I don't buy it every year, but like I bought it this year and I hate it, but I keep playing it.
Guilty pleasure.
Like, how the hell do you screw up a game that bad? Like, it's so bad, but I play it anyway. I feel like an addict.
Oh my god! I can't get enough of football.
It's like, no, it's like I love watching football. I love watching content about football. But like, no matter what, for some reason, I keep buying the games, even though every year I'm like, dude, this game's gonna be so bad. Pay $60, or not every year, but every time I buy it, it's like, yo, it's gonna be so bad because I know EA at this point. But like, still
know
paid
what they're getting
$60 for it. Yep, I know what I'm getting for it. This year, it's worse than I thought it was gonna be. To be honest with you, they surprised me on even that. So.
It'd be like that.
Yeah, there's that. It'd be like that.
It really do be like that. You hate it.
Yeah, no. COD, Warzone, big one, Madden, and Destiny 2.
Oh yeah.
So, Madden's a big slump. That game sucks, right? Fuck that. But
Fuck that
what
game,
games
but I
are you
still
looking
play it
forward
anyway.
to? Yeah. What are you looking forward to? Like, what games coming out are you looking forward to, or like, do you plan to play in the future?
So I plan on playing Halo Infinite. I was never a big Halo fan. I was never a big Halo fan because I never had a group to actually play it with because most of my group was primarily COD, zombies, which I still I held the world record for 2 months on Kino, so that's my life achievement right there. It's gonna go off on my headstone or whatever.
Right.
But and then Halo, yeah, for sure. Cold War, I'm excited for it, even though it's a COD, so it's either 50-50. It's great.
It's always it's a coin flip.
I'm excited for Rocket League to be free to play again, or free to
Go
play.
into it, yeah.
Have you been looking into Cyberpunk or Valhalla at all?
Yeah,
or
Cyberpunk and Valhalla both are coming out too. You're not big on single players?
I was thinking, so second player I'm fine with, or I'm fine with like Assassin's Creed. I loved those games growing up, especially with like Odyssey. I felt like was a very underrated game. I didn't finish it, but I still played it through. I was always huge on like if you haven't gone through and played through all the new remakes of Tomb Raider.
Oh,
I've always been mad on Tomb Raider.
Tomb Raider, especially Shadow of the Tomb Raider, or whatever. Honestly, Shadow of Tomb Raider is probably one of my favorite games of all time.
Yeah,
like the visuals in those games are insane. Like they contest up against like Forza and stuff for being ahead of its time a little bit. Those are always insane. Past that, no, I was never big on Assassin's Creed past like the first few of them because they just kind of get a little repetitive.
I will promise you, Odyssey will be one of the best games you have ever played.
I've played Odyssey.
Odyssey is I'm still having withdrawals. I played it 100% on stream. I got the DLC, never finished it unfortunately.
Yeah.
Because I just wanted to play other things at that point.
I'm actually playing it right now. I'm in the middle of my playthrough.
Odyssey is so good, dude. One of my favorite. That's probably one of my favorite games I've ever played.
Yeah,
but
that's kind of the same thing I'm in. It's Odyssey was a great game. The visuals were fantastic. The story was pretty solid. It's just I never finished it just because when that came out, Shadow of the Tomb Raider came out shortly after, and then there's also Call of Duty and stuff. So it's like it's still in my game library, but I just haven't touched it.
So we did touch base on you about college. What exactly are you going to college for, though?
Economics and then business admin and analytics.
What do you plan to do with that degree after, though?
I have no fucking clue.
Just gotta get a job somewhere.
Yeah, just get a job somewhere. Like honestly, I've been doing like marketing stuff that I've been applying for and like doing like small projects and stuff on. But like to be honest with you, I really don't know at this point. Just because, and this is the weird thing with Corona. Like it's thrown everybody in my kind of situation. They're all either going to be out of college here soon in such a loop because the entire job market is shifting so much.
Oh yeah.
So like with that major shift, I don't know what's going to be there in 2 weeks at this point.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, I had 3 job offers when Corona started, and all of those went off the fucking window.
It is what it is.
Would have doubled how much I was making.
This is probably the most important question of all night, and I've been really, really wanting to ask you this, but
so soon to disappoint.
I know I know you haven't been having the best luck lately with some things, but
Chat for the homie.
when are we going to be getting a Mrs. Valk Genesis?
No fucking that's anytime soon.
I've been waiting for this question all night, dude, just for that. I don't know why. I was going to include another question in there about Valkyrie. Like, all right, who's your favorite member of Valkyrie and why is it me? I was going to do that in there, and I'm like, nah. Oh my god, you'd pick
Well,
me.
it looks like you're getting cut, so. I said, well, it looks like he's getting cut, so definitely not him.
Bye, guys. This has been the Valkast. Have a good day. But
no, dude, it's like, especially where I come from, because it really sucks where I live, and that's why I want to move sometime within the next year. But like, either people here are stuck-up pricks or want to be rednecks.
Oh, yikes!
Yeah, be straight up and honest with you. If I know you and you're watching, you know you fit in one of those two categories.
You know you fucked up. No, me and Tyler are both from Florida, bro. So it's a hot 50-50 where I'm at. But Tyler's beachside, so it's probably not as bad. But during certain times of the year, like in Daytona over here, it gets bad for race week, bike week, whatever week they're doing. It gets bad here.
Well, like, so I live about an hour and a half away from where they do Country USA and Rock USA every year. And people have kind of just migrated here so they don't have to pay for travel expenses.
Yeah.
And the amount of like farms and stuff in where I live are fucking insane.
And Wisconsin.
Wisconsin. Like, I'm not trying to knock down my state at all, because honestly, it's super cheap to live here. It's actually like the climate's pretty nice, other than like deep winter. But like, sometimes it just gets weird here, you know. Like, I wish I could go to a bigger city where they have like where they do esports and things are a little bit more populated. But like the biggest city here, I think, has like 2.5 million people. If I think right. It's like 2.5 to 5 million, somewhere in that range. And most states have like cities that trump that by like at least double.
Yeah.
So it's like, even in the big cities here, it's nowhere near like where I want to be. Like, I would love to be able to live in like an Indianapolis or like a.
Hey, that's where me and Ashley might end up. You making a move there? I'm telling you, we'll be close. And then Nate's not too far away, and Mitch isn't that far away either.
Yeah, like, I've even considered like Cleveland, Ohio. Like, yeah.
No, dude, I've been to Cleveland once. I never want to go back again unless I'm going to a football game. It was bad, bro. You thought... Yeah, I prefer Detroit over Cleveland. I'm not kidding.
I've been there a couple of times, and it's always... It might have just been where I was. Like,
the airport. I flew into the airport, right? I was going to New York, and we went out. I only had experience in the airport, and this airport. This airport was jank as fuck. We looked outside, dude. There was like a train yard or whatever there. It's like 8 homeless guys, they're probably smoking crack or something, bro. It was. I was like 8 at the time. I'm like, Mommy, what are they doing? She's like, look away, honey.
Wait, dude, you can't even talk. You were 8. And how long ago was that? That was over a decade ago?
11 years ago.
Been like 30 years.
Oh my god, it's been like that for the entire fucking time. They haven't done shit. No, dude, I've been there.
Fucking millennial.
Late last year, I went there for like a good weekend, and I've been there before too, within the past decade. But no, I've always had a good time. At least, it's never been like, it's never a flashy city or anything like that. But it's always been like, I've been out there visiting like a friend, and shit's been just a nice place and shit like that. No, I didn't go through the airport because I didn't fly there. But I'm also wasn't 8 at the time, so
listen, it's just a meme. But it's just the Cleveland, whatever meme that is. But at least we're not Detroit, or whatever how it goes.
It sucks that they're not gonna have a good football team, but then again, it's the Browns, so who gives a shit?
Yeah, Hey, we're gonna be hurting some feelings on this podcast if people actually start listening to it.
We've talked about the Valkyrie brand But what about you? Like, what do you want to do to improve your brand, or do you care about improving your brand? You just
I
force.
figured.
And
I,
Matt will attest to this all day long. I do not give a single shit about my personal brand. Like, I don't stream. I don't. The Valkyrie's it for me personally.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Yeah,
that's
completely respectable.
if I'd rather focus on something that can better other people, and when it grows, everybody grows from it.
Mhm.
That the Genesis brand, which is what I played under and shit like that.
Mhm.
That's never been it for me.
Yeah, definitely.
See, like for me though, it's like I've always like I love esports and all, and I love being on teams. That's why I've been doing it for so long. But I felt like I took so much time, and I want to be a creator as well. I want to be able to do both. I took so much time into focusing on other people. I never really sat back to realize, and I'm not like roasting you or anything, but like me growing my brand, I could eventually help grow other people's brand. Like people like Mr. Beast is the best example with it, one of his newest videos of the guy taking his hand like last to leave his hand on the button gets the shout out. The dude has 1 million fucking followers now because of that. Like I like having that power to make like somebody that deserves to be famous, someone that deserves to be recognized. Having that power like in my hands I would love that. I'd be throwing it everywhere. I'd be like, yo, I like you. Here, shout out, guys, go watch him. I'd love that, and that's why I like to focus on my brand a lot. And I'm already seeing that impact a little bit already because when I go into all my friends' streams, and the biggest example is Lunar because I usually rate her after. And I've even seen Fadeless as well whenever I rate them. I'll see my people in their streams whenever I go and tune in, chatting. And I love to see that because my regulars become their regulars. And I'm okay with that. I'm okay with sharing the wealth, per se. And that's why I like to, like, I'm supposed to be streaming right now, like 4 hours ago. But I'm doing this. And I'm happy I'm doing this. But,
No, for me, it's like, I completely get that. And that's kind of why a content team exists, is, to kind of mesh that with those communities and stuff like that. For me personally, I can't focus on my own brand enough without helping like other people focus on theirs.
Mhm.
Like that's kind of, it sucks because I wish I could stream and like do that like a good amount and stuff.
it would take
I
a
feel
good
like
time, though.
I feel like I'd be good at it.
You'd be fine, yeah.
But it would take time, and I'd rather do like talking with competitive teams and talking with content creator meetings and shit like that over stream, which is why I'll never be a streamer.
You already put so much time successfully growing Valk to what it's been. It takes so much effort from you and just dedication.
It's exhausting. It really is.
Yeah, like if you had put that much effort into your stream, Valkyrie probably wouldn't have been given as much attention it has.
100%.
You don't know if it would be in the same place it is right now.
Oh, it wouldn't be. I tried creating content for like 3 months at the beginning, and I couldn't do both of them. And I couldn't even do close to both of them for like the longest time. And yeah, it's just I couldn't focus on both for me.
For me, one of my biggest mess ups in Illuminate, I feel like, was me being an owner and trying to balance me having a full-time job, me having a girlfriend, me having bills, me wanting to stream, and me wanting to own that team and be like an owner. I could not juggle that. And I mean, I was starting to fall back into that slump with Valkyrie when I first joined, with being the whole Discord mod thing, and that's why I really approached you guys as being a GM, because one, I didn't feel like I was doing anything, and that's why I wasn't really passionate about it. But I knew as soon as if I could have gotten promoted, and I did, that passion, that spark was there, and that I feel like that's what I really needed. And then just bringing Mitch along with the ride, I'm pretty much solidified in this team till something happens, bro. Knock on wood, it doesn't, but.
Like, not gonna lie, Nate and I were both kind of like,
Tyler,
we need to get him in something. What?
He knocked on his fucking head. He said, "Knock on wood." He went dunk dunk. Go on.
Nate and I were both kind of like evaluating what we want to do with you anyway. Like when you approached us.
Yeah.
Because we were like, yeah, this isn't working out, and we know he wants to do something, but like, what would he actually want to do? So like when we had that conversation, we were like, all right, yeah, this is fucking easy. Like, let's do this. Let's make the move. Like, it wasn't hard. And especially because like, we've told everybody staff wise when they come on board, this is, this is what you're coming in as, but to be honest with you, we just want to make sure you're the right fit to where if
Yeah.
you want to do something else, we can figure out what you actually are good at.
It's
So like some people think that they're good at something, but then it turns out they're really good at something else, and that's what they should be focused on.
that's I think that's actually what I told Nate when I originally applied for that position. It's like, I've never been a community outreach manager, but I could probably do it, and boy was I wrong. Yeah, so
You always
that I mean, yeah, I tried it. I could put that on my resume. I could say failed Discord moderator for Valkyrie LLC. I can put that on my resume now if I ever go anywhere else.
I specifically want to see the word failed on there.
Yeah, failed.
Yeah. Make sure it's bold.
Please do not put me as community outreach manager, but I can pretty much do anything else. But let's go ahead. We're going to transition to the final question here is, where do you see yourself in a year with your preferred personal life, and where do you see yourself in a year with Valkyrie?
So, in a year from now, I should be almost graduated. Because no matter what, I'm gonna have to do another semester because I just don't have the time right now to add that many credits on. I'll be in my last semester for school. Really excited to graduate. I'm not gonna have a whole ton of debt to sit on, so I'm gonna be able to pay that off really quick.
Yep.
Which I feel really good about. Past that, just I want to be able to stage where I can get a good job for a little bit, but then continue working on this because this is the first time in my life right now to where I'm not working full time, doing school full time, and doing this full time.
Yeah, I feel that right now, bro. It's I'm literally just content creating right now, and it's great.
I know, and it feels good because I can focus enough on school. I can focus enough on this where I'm like, I'm making the okay progress on both of them, and I don't have to have some stupid job that I hate sitting behind me. That's just kind of where I want to be. I want to see Valkyrie at a different stage where we're able to pick up big better content creators, pick up teams that past what we're already at right now. I would like to be able to have an MDL team for CS:GO.
Yep,
that'd be nice.
Sooner rather than later. I'd rather have a good tier League of Legends team this time next year.
Yeah.
I feel like past that, it's kind of just based on let's just focus on content for the team. Let's get this stuff going, and that's it.
That's pretty great.
Yeah, sounds good. It's like obviously maybe keep maintaining a Call of Duty team. That'd be also really cool too.
That'd be dope. But let's just hope that this game's actually good.
But yeah, that's gonna be a big part of it. It really is gonna be. Yeah. But I mean, with all that being said, that's a wrap, guys. So everybody, thank you all for tuning into the Valkyrie the Valkast, my bad, presented by Acquire, best merch provider in the industry right now. Thank you to our special. We can vouch. We can vouch. Thank you to our special guest, Mr. Zach Genesis, for coming on the show and putting up with our shenanigans for 2 hours, basically. Now we are supposed to only be like an hour, but we definitely doubled the time. That's all that Tyler and I have for you guys today. Make sure you guys go ahead and tune into next time for more insight on how the Legion is run. Or ran, I guess. Check out the description to follow Zach on all his social medias, and Valkyrie, myself, and Tyler all in the description below. But with all that being said, thank you guys so much for watching. And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. You guys have a good rest of your day.